Well, hello everybody. Nice that you joined us here in Jam and Java, and it's going to be a fun night tonight. We've got a very special guest, and that's this guy Jim Peterick. Here, I better turn this off, or else I'm gonna. Okay, are we all on now, everybody? Hello, hello, Wendy. You're on in Florida. Wendy, what are you doing in Florida? You must be a snowbird from Litchfield. Carla. Okay, so we're good, right, Carla? Okay, good. That means I guess we can move forward. Because I hate to be talking into thin air, although that's kind of the story of my life. Well, we are going to have a fun show tonight. I'm going to play this new keyboard a little bit here. I've been having a lot of fun with that. This Hammond SK Pro. We're going to have an interview with an amazing musician. His name is Jim Peterick, and this guy has accomplished so much, and he does so much, and his days are so packed. I don't know where he finds the energy, but that's uh, that's why he's Jim Peterick. And so it's going to be a great interview with him. He wrote The Eye of the Tiger. He wrote the song Vehicle. He's written so many hit records for so many people. The Beach Boys, 38 Special, just a bunch of guys. And this guy's involved in so many things, but had a great interview with him a couple hours ago. Let's see. And what else? I'm going to play a couple videos. And we're just going to have a fun night tonight. Let's see who's anybody on here. Well, I see some Pete. Ruth is on, and Wendy's on, and Jefferson Rodriguez is on. My wife Carla is on. Don Harnack is on. Larry Vasaki from Cleveland. Boy, I bet it's snowing out there. I know I did that show earlier today out of New York, and I could almost feel the cold coming through the computer because it is so cold back east, and all the snow and the big blizzard that's going on right now. So it's kind of a nice day to be in sunny Southern California, home of the world champion Dodgers. Always have to get those little plugs in. All right, so let's quit wasting some time and let's go right to Pastor Chuck, our resident chaplain, Pastor Chuck Pearson, to lead us in an opening prayer. Take it away, Pastor Chuck.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well this evening. I'd also like to ask you to forgive me for some personal reflection tonight, but there's some things I wanted to share with you. On Friday, my sister informed me that our mother had finally succumbed to death and been called to the church triumphant by our Lord. She was 98 and she suffered from dementia. She had trouble with her sight, with her hearing. She could no longer talk, and she needed assistance to walk. And she was extremely weak. Interestingly enough, she managed to fight off COVID-19 with only a few sniffles. One of the things my sister and I reflected upon was a time when she had had surgery and had been out of circulation, as they say, for a couple of weeks. And her first Sunday back was Easter Sunday. I was in college, but I came home to play the trumpet in church for Paul Bungee's arrangement of I Know That My Redeemer Lives. That was something she talked about for a number of years. Moms do that, don't they? The lyrics for that hymn were written by Samuel Medley, who was a Baptist pastor in England in 1775. The music was written by John Hatton based on the tune Duke Street. The first stanza is, I know that my Redeemer lives. What comfort this sweet sentence gives. He lives, who once was dead. He lives, my ever-living hand. Now, like all good Lutheran hymns, there's at least 8 stanzas to go through, so I won't go through all of those stanzas. But the hymn is based on an amazing passage from Job, Job 19, verses 25 through 27, and it reads this way. I know that my Redeemer lives, and that on the last he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has thus been destroyed, yet in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes will behold, and not another. Job had a really great life, and then he had a really bad life. He went through an awful lot of things. Many of you have been through an awful lot of difficult things as well. All of us in this pandemic have had to change our lives and change the way we look at things and change the way we do things. And many people are suffering. And yet, almost 4,000 years ago, Job put his finger on the same hope and the same promise that you and I have. A promise that is explained more explicitly in the pages of the New Testament. And yet that promise is something that he could say and he could share with others. And the promise that you and I have, that in our flesh, with our own eyes, we will see God, who is our Redeemer, and we will be united with him, and we will be reunited with one another, with those that we love. Would you pray with me? Father in heaven, what comfort the knowledge of the resurrection does give to us, because with it comes the knowledge that you are with us in everything that we face, in everything that we go through. Comfort us, Heavenly Father, as we go through the things of this life. Help us to look forward to that time when we will join you, but be joined by our loved ones as we see with our own eyes our resurrection and your Son stand upon this earth. Father, give us comfort no matter what we're going through and strengthen our faith. Be with us and be with those that are having difficult times, Father. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, Robbie, it's all yours.
Well, our sympathies go out to you, Pastor Chuck, because I know this has been a tough time for you. Tough time for a lot of people, as you mentioned, and we just thank you for your you sharing God's comfort and peace with us, because that's what you do every Monday on this show, and I just give you so much thanks for that. Let me see who's okay. Jim Crabtree, Litchfield is in the house. You know what? For those of you who don't know, I'm from Litchfield, Illinois, and I guess if you watch this many times, you know that. Don Harnack, laugh out. Oh, Pastor Mike is on. Pastor Mike Harnack from First First Lutheran Burbank. Yes, First Lutheran Burbank. And Pastor Mike, how you doing? Good to see you on board tonight. Pastor Mike is a great brother and a great. He's actually a drummer who learned to play drums by playing Frankie Valli music. And then Pastor Mike used to come over, and he plays in his praise band, plays barefooted pastor drummer. How's that for a combination? And he used to come over to Jam and Java when we were actually playing live, and we are going to get back to be playing live again, hopefully sooner than later, in our brand new remodeled Trinity Lutheran Church, which is going to be really a nice thing. Um, let's see, Toby Simmons. Toby, thanks for reaching out to so many people to help to share Jam and Java with them. I appreciate that. Larry Vasaki from Cleveland. Yes, God bless her, Patrick, Larry. Um, let's see, Ruth Kralovich, Carol Depp, and 10 other people are watching. Wow, whatever that is. Barry Beckett, the Seeking Deacon, my brother. Marine, Semper Fi, and all that kind of stuff. Jefferson Rodriguez. Don Millette. Hi from snowy Sycamore, Illinois. Hey, Don, how are you? We had a great chat a few weeks ago, Don and I, catching up after 50-plus years. Don played in one of the very first bands that I was ever in called the Sonics. We won the Battle of the Bands at the Illinois State Fair. Debbie Warner is on. Tammy Cortlander, Mary Ellen Stevenson. Hello, guys. Kathy Nelson. Thanks for watching, Kathy. Kathy is a member of our church and just got through some rough times herself. She has two wonderful sons and a wonderful daughter, but her two wonderful sons are both in the service, and we just thank them for their service. Amazing, amazing stuff. Um, yes, so what, that song that Pastor mentioned, I wonder if I can make this keyboard work. I'm not set up for this. Let's see if I go here, I go there, and I go there. Let's see here. Let's see here. I had it. I'm still learning this baby, and to get it off the fly is a little tricky. Let's see if I go here. Turn that on. Yeah, that won't work. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start with the song. Uh, Last week at Trinity Lutheran Church, by the way, we do our services every Sunday morning. We live stream them 9 a.m. On Facebook and YouTube, and you can go on and watch those 9 a.m. California time. And here's a service we did. Here's a song we did a couple weeks ago, and I got a chance to really put this SK Pro, Hammond SK Pro, through its paces. And I thought I would play that song that we did a couple weeks ago with Eddie Hedges, one of the brilliant singers that is a member of our congregation. And it's a great song called Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. And so check it out.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of the earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glorious grace. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Turn your eyes on the Lord, yes. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Mercy, grace, and peace can be yours. Oh, can be yours. Yes, Lord. Wonderful face, and the things of the earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Yes, Lord. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Turn your eyes on the Lord, Hey. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Mercy, grace, and peace can be yours. Oh, yeah. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of the earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus. And of course, thanks to our buddy Sarah Nimitz for putting together that amazing video. She's extraordinarily talented in so many ways. Let's see who else is watching now. Let's see. Anybody else to join in here tonight? Where are we here? It's, oh gosh. Hi, Laura Maulding, Mike Huddleston. If you would be interested in having Rex join, you know what? I can't afford Rex. He's too expensive. With Steve March and Edgar Struble, yes, of course, all those guys. Tony Galla. Hey, Tony Galla, we got to get you back on. That's for sure. Randy Tufty. Jeff Lash. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us. Brian Charette. Yo, Brian. The great organ player. This SK Pro is excellent, isn't it? It's amazing, actually. Let's see if I've got some of the cool stuff. I mean, it does. Let's see here what I get. Let's set up for organ here. And then it's got a synthesizer after you play that. Of course, and then if you want, I've got two different kinds of synths here. Sure, Robbie. What else we got on here? We got some strings, I think. Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun with this thing. On that last song, I was using that kind of that Rhodesy stuff. See, I think I forgot what I was doing on that actually. So as I said earlier, we're going to talk to Mr. Jim Peterick. And a couple hours ago this afternoon, I had a chance to sit down and chat with this guy who is from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, Jim Peterick. And, well, here's part one of the interview. Let's take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored, I am so privileged tonight to introduce to you one of the greatest talents in our music business. This guy sings, he plays, he writes, he's an entrepreneur, he's a producer. This guy does so much stuff it makes me tired, but please welcome to Jam and Java, Mr. Jim Peterick.
You even said it right, Robbie. I can't believe it. Everyone says Peterick, Peternick, Peterlick. This one disc jockey for 15 minutes, he was calling me Peterlick. I didn't like that.
Oh, no.
I didn't have the heart to correct him. But anyway, nice being on your show, man. Thank you.
Oh, it's so cool to have you, man. I'll tell you what, your resume, I was looking through stuff today. I mean, it's extraordinary, all the stuff that you have done. It makes me tired. It makes me exhausted just to look at it. Tell me about what motivates Jim Peterick.
Oh man, grew up in Berwyn, Illinois. We were kind of the underdog mentality, and all my life I'm going, we'll show them.
Yeah.
We're always trying to impress the people that the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, but sometimes negativity can spawn positivity.
Sure.
And you just want to prove yourself. You want to show everybody what you can do. And I wake up in the morning and I go, I'm going to write the best freaking song you ever heard. People say, well, Eye of the Tiger, you'll never beat that. I say, yeah, well, watch this. And I may never beat that one, but you know what? You have to have goals.
Well, you mentioned Eye of the Tiger. Let's talk about that a second, because talk about songs that have worldwide impact. That song, I mean, obviously everybody knows that song. It's such a motivational song, especially for sports. When I watch my grandkids on basketball, they play Eye of the Tiger at the halftime. Tell me about that song.
Well, it started with a phone call. I thought someone was putting me on. I pick up and I come back home and it's the answering machine. Hey, yo, Jim, give me a call. It's Sylvester Stallone. I go, no way. I ignored it. I kept sorting my mail. My wife says, who's that? I said, some joker pretending to be Stallone. You better call him back. Oh, all right. So I call him back. I said, this is Jim Peterik. Is this really Sylvester Stallone? Hey, Jimbo, call me Sly, Wow. So here's the kid from Berwyn talking to my hero. I was already a huge Rocky fan from Rocky 1 and 2.
Sure.
I couldn't believe I was talking to this guy. He said, I really like your band Survivor, and I want something like that for my new movie Rocky 3, And, man, I'll tell you, it was the chance of a lifetime. And it's still, I still pinch myself. And going, if it wasn't for that one phone call, if I hadn't called him back, I wouldn't have had this iconic hit that everyone is singing, the little kids and the grandmas. And
yes,
it's been a real blessing.
Yeah, that's one of those songs that just transcends the music business and even the fan base, because everybody in the world knows it.
And people say, I bet you're a big boxing fan. I go, not really. I said, but Brian Wilson never surfed. So, you don't have to do that.
But you mentioned Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
I know that you were a Brian Wilson fan. What person in our business is not? But you had the opportunity to write with him and to record with him. Tell us about that.
Well, it's like in high school, there's the 3 Bs, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and Burt Bacharach.
Yeah.
All were my heroes writing-wise. And here I get to write with Brian Wilson. And Larry was part of the writing team, Joe Thomas and myself. And again, it was a pinch me moment to be sitting with Brian Wilson. What do you say to Brian Wilson? He wrote God Only Knows,
exactly.
All the time. Anyway, we wrote this song called That's Why God Made the Radio, and it just went number 1. This is 2012.
Wow.
And suddenly I'm pinching myself. We're in the front row at the Chicago Theater watching our song be performed, and my son Colin is sitting next to me, and he goes, Dad, this has to be a pretty big moment for you. And I go, yeah, this is like the moment of my life. It was that much big of a thrill.
What I'm hearing from you now is very similar, because I've been in the music business for a million years, and most people that I know that are still in this crazy business, we do it because we love the music, but we're also fans of other musicians and singers. And part of that, and I get that from you, being a fan of, you mentioned the 3 Bs, and you mentioned, of course, Brian Wilson.
You start as a fan, and you know what? You stay a fan.
Amen.
Anyone who denies their roots is fooling themselves, and their ego is taking a trip,
No question. And you're this kid from small town Berwyn, Illinois. I'm a Southern Illinois boy. I'm from Litchfield, Illinois, now down near Springfield, and I know that there's a lot of music that comes out of Illinois. Tell us about coming up in the Chicago area there in those days.
Oh yeah, I mean the '60s was for me the heyday of Chicago rock.
Absolutely.
In fact, you may know that we do a review called Cornerstones of Rock with the real pivotal bands from the 60s and early 70s. Ides of March, Crying Shames, New County 6, Shadows of Night, Buckingham's, of course, number one.
Of course.
And we do reviews. We in the Ides of March generally back up all the bands except the Buckinghams. They bring their own band. They're self-contained. But those were golden days, and we all got along. It wasn't a rivalry like screw you. No, it was like we're buddies.
Yeah.
Everyone got along. Everybody was rooting for the other guy. That's the way it should be.
And I remember playing in Chicago in the 60s because, again, from downstate Illinois, and we used to play Rush Street. We played Rush Over and Rush Up and those kind of joints. And
oh, man. Well, we've had some great times. Chicago Rock, of course, it's still going on, with Dennis DeYoung. I'm writing with him now for 2 new.
Awesome.
Yep. We 26 East came out about 6 months ago, and now 26 East Part 2 is coming up. He lives literally 2 blocks away, a block and a half away.
Is that right?
Yeah. And, I'll walk over there with my case like the old days, and we'll write a song. And Dennis is such a talent. He's still going strong. His voice still sounds like it did in the 70s when he sang, Lady,
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what? Some amazing stuff from an amazing musician, that's for sure. Let's see who else is watching here. Toby saw Survivor, I think, at the Great Western Forum in the early 80s. Yeah. Dave Schneider, my buddy from Litchfield, is on. Mike Huddleston. I had the pleasure of introducing you guys that night. Very cool. Scott, my brother from Columbus, is on. It's going to be a new grandpa. Congratulations. Congratulations, Scott. Tony Galla is on. Pretty wild ride for a kid from small town in northern Illinois, Berwyn, Illinois. He was 14 years old when he put together the band The Ides of March. 14 years old. Now, what were you doing when you were 14? So I thought I would play a song here on this new Hammond XK Pro, which is rocking. And on the Robinson Brothers EP, which took us about 40 years to finally finish, but we had some great players on it, we did a song called Coming Home Baby, because we did it for the first time. We went back to Litchfield in 2017 and did a Robinson Brothers concert back in Litchfield, Illinois. Then we did another one in 2019, and then we did we haven't done anything since, but we're talking about it. It'd be nice to get back to touring again. We've been messing around with some music with Frankie Valli, which, that's all cool. But I thought I would do a song from that EP, Coming Home Baby. And I forget who wrote that. I think it was Ben Tucker, bass player. Let's see if I can. Now, I've got another camera here. Let's see if I put these two together. It would be this one, I think. Ah, there we are. So you can see that. I got to make sure. Now, I've got actually a little bit of a track here. So I'm going to be playing with a band for a change. Let's see if I can go to here. I got to make sure I can go. Got to make sure this is right level here. Kind of loud, isn't it? All right, let's try this. Coming Home Baby. Something like this. Take it away, Milo. Oh Lord. Okay, we're coming home. And we played that for our first homecoming concert in Litchfield, Illinois. Litchfield, Illinois, music mecca that it is. It's 1 hour north of St. Louis, about 45, 50 minutes south of Springfield, Illinois, right on the 55. And I grew up there. My wife Carla grew up there. And actually, at one time, 4 members of Frankie Valli's band were all from that area. Not only myself and my brother Rex, who played bass and sang bass for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons for 25 years. Rex Robinson played there, better known in Litchfield as Mobo. And Chuck Wilson, who was in that first band that I mentioned earlier, the Sonics. He's from Litchfield, who played drums and he played percussion, both at different times in the band, and sang. Lynn Hammond, who was from 8 miles away from Gillespie, Illinois, played drums with us. And so we had some nice runs there from back then in those days. Phil West. Hello, Phil West. Route 66. Yes, Scott. Litchfield's right on old Route 66. Donna Throne from Litchfield. She's on there. Yeah. Christine Harms watching. Crystal Joy Smith. Hello, Crystal Joy Smith. Kent Crane. Hi, Kent. Oh, Jan Gala. Hey, Jan. So neat that you're on. I hope you're keeping that husband Tony of yours in line. Hey, you know what? Robert Kent Crane, he sent me a T-shirt of that first band, the Sonics, and I've got to bring that out one of these nights. So I so appreciate that T-shirt. It's so cool. Thank you so much for that, Kent. So what are we going to do next? Let's see here. Let me go back to the other camera here. Is this any better? I don't know. I had to sit up a little higher in order to play this keyboard. It's a little hard. I was a little too low for that. So what if I go to this camera? What happens here? What's this camera look like? Oh, that's a little different, isn't it? Okay, so what do we have to show? Oh, I know what we can play. So today is a big day in Four Seasons world because we released another video, a Four Seasons video with our current band. And it was one of those virtual videos that we put together, everybody in their own home studio, including Frankie. And we did a great song called Silence is Golden that was written by Bob Gaudio, of course, as were most of the hits by Frankie were written by Bob Gaudio. And it got released today, so this is a debut of sorts. This is our current band doing Silence is Golden, and see what you think of this approach on it. It's kind of neat. It's kind of the way we would do it live, but we put a few twists in it as well. And it goes something like this.
Oh, don't it hurt deep inside to see someone do something to her? Oh, don't it pain to see someone cry? Oh, especially when someone is hurt. Silence is golden, but my eyes still see. Silence is golden, golden, but my eyes still see. Talking is cheap, people follow like sheep, even though there is nowhere to go. How could she tell he deceived her so well? Pity she'll be the last one to know. Silence is golden, but my eyes still see. Silence is golden, but my eyes still see. How many times will she fall for his line? Should I tell her, or should I be cool? And if I try, I know she'd say I lie. Mind your business, don't hurt her, you fool. Silence is golden, but my eyes still see. Silence is golden, golden, Silence is golden.
So what do you think? I think Frankie Valli still got it, that's for sure. You know, hey, Terry, look who's on here. Terry Store. Hey, Terry. Terry and I went to grade school, junior high, and high school together, the same class. And it's good. I can't remember the last time that we spoke, Terry. Thanks for coming on. We have to give me a call one of these days. One of these days, yes. Oh, thanks, Tony. And by the way, of course, you know who pretty much helped do that video again is the amazing Sarah Nimitz. Whenever I need an important video, I turn to Sarah because I know nobody does it better than her. That's for sure. Hey, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, that's a great song. I'll tell you what. There's the question that I get more often than almost anything when we're in concerts because I use that breath controller thing. And what that is, I've been playing it since, oh gosh, since the 70s or maybe the 80s. What it is with certain synth setups and stuff like that, I can control not only the volume but also the tonal quality of by how much I blow, how I articulate and all that kind of stuff. And I played, I played saxophone since I was a little kid, and that helped me a lot in my arranging. But it also helped me in my approach, my melodic approach to playing. And so I adapted, or I adapted that breath controller thing that goes back to the DX7 days of the early 80s, I guess, late 70s, early 80s, of articulating with that breath controller. And I still do it in concerts, and it gives me a little bit more of an expressive approach to certain types of melodic lines. And that's something that I always get asked about that. Margaret McGinnis, I hope, oh, I'm sure you're nice and cold where you are. Well, hold it now. Are you in, I forgot where you moved to. Was it North Dakota? I hope not. No, it was Arizona, I think. She was out here, and she used to sub for me on Oregon. Hey, thanks so much, Jefferson. I appreciate that. And you too, Bert. Thanks for watching. All you people who kind of tune in on a regular basis, I'm so appreciative. I really never know where we're going to go with these shows until kind of the week unfolds and we kind of figure it out. Let the spirit lead. Nebraska. Ah, Margaret, that's where you went. Well, you and a lot of people are exiting this this great state of California. For those of you who know me also, we have a place in Nashville. We get down there on a regular basis, and so we have a big tug down there. So let's see, what can I do? Let's see, I can play. I know what we'll play. We'll play a song. Let me play a song called that I wrote called "What Me Worry." Can I play Sunny? Oh, Toby says. Well, I don't know. No. Well, I have a question for you. What are any of you old enough out there to remember a song or remember a magazine called Mad Magazine? Raise your hand if you are. I see a few hands up out there in Jam and Java land. And so the question is this: what does the Bible and Mad Magazine have in common? And I guess grammatically it would be, what do Mad Magazine and the Bible have in common? And the answer to that question would be, let's see if anybody. In the mood for, yeah, okay. The answer to that question would be this. Both of their spokespeople advocate the philosophy of do not worry. Bert got it right. Ha! Look at you, Bert. Yes, that's exactly right. Because the spokesperson for Mad Magazine was Alfred E. Newman. That's correct, Michael Huddiston. Alfred E. Newman, not to be mixed up with the great composer Alfred Newman, but he was that freckle-faced kid with the kind of the hair that looked like sort of alfalfa, and it always had the slogan, "What me worry." But the Bible teaches the same thing. Jesus tells us on the Sermon on the Mount, look at the birds of the air. Don't I take care of them? Don't worry about any of that stuff. Look at the lilies of the field. Aren't they clothed in a beautiful dress? Wouldn't I take care of you even more so? All through and through the Bible, it teaches us and it tells us and it advocates and it calls us to not worry, no matter what kind of problem, because no matter how big the pandemic is, no matter how big our obstacles are, how big our problems are, God has it, and God's got it. He's right there. He's still on the throne. Jesus is still Lord. And so that's what inspired this from Matthew chapter 6. And this is a song that I wrote called What Me Worry. And it's sort of a jazz kind of a piece in the style of the greatest jazz organ that ever lived, Jimmy Smith. If you don't know who Jimmy Smith is, do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and check out Jimmy Smith Hammond Jazz. He was the greatest that ever lived, the GOAT. So I've got a drum track here that I programmed. Let's see if I can play this thing here. Get my pedals dialed in here. So let's see what happens. And in the middle, too, you'll hear some what they call squabbling in the Hammond lexicon. It's like... So I do some of that in the middle. All right, I think I'm ready to do this. If I hit this button, what's going to happen? All right, I hope it's going to work. Oh, I'll put this up here, too. Where is this? Robbie Play. Ah, there we go. Okay. It goes like this. What Me Worry. That was a tune. I was been writing a lot of tunes for the kind of stuff that uh, when we would do our Jam and Java. Our Jam and Java, basically, I would have a chord trio, and we would have different musicians come in every Monday night, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, beatnik, finger stamping, snapping. Yeah, cool. Uh, all right, good. Okay, here's a request from my wife. How about this one? And I guess this one. In the mood. All right. So for church yesterday morning, we did a song that I wrote. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, Laura got it right. In the mood, of course. Um, and we did a song that I wrote called "Give It Some Thought," and with the great Andrea Hammond. Andrea Hammond is well, I think actually, before we go to this song, I think we better do another. You ready to hear some more Jim Peterick? What do you think? Yeah, I think it's time for Jim Peterick. So I've got the second half of the interview with Jim Peterick, and let's just go to that. Uh, it's right over here, and it goes like this.
And another Chicago icon, of course, is, and you can see him, this logo. This, by the way, I have this brand new keyboard right here. Hammond organ is based out of Chicago.
Yep. Scotty just came home with that keyboard, and he says, "Man, this thing." And we've been rehearsing with that keyboard. The sounds that come out of that board, man, too much.
Right. Of course. Now you mentioned Scotty. Let me see. I've got a picture. I'm going to put it up here. This guy right here, that's Scott May, who is the artist liaison of Hammond organ. And he, more than that though, you know him. Tell us about Scott May. What does he do for you?
Scott May was the biggest Ides of March groupie in high school. We were like a couple of years older than he.
Huh?
And every Ides of March show, there would be this kid in the front row, basically taking notes on everything we did. And we kind of broke up for a while, and when we got back together in 1990, who do we get for keyboards? And Danny Hagedorn of DJ's Music says, "There's only one guy, Scott May." "You mean that guy?" Yeah. And he auditioned for us, and 32 years later, he's our guy.
Wow. Well, as a Hammond artist, Scott and I are great buds, of course, but you have a special association with Hammond organ too. Now, you're a Hammond artist on some level, right?
I am. There's videos of me where I'm demonstrating certain things. I especially remember the guitar Leslie, which I demonstrated at the NAMM show in LA that year, and there's a kind of an instructional video that I did for them. Just a phenomenal unit.
What motivates you when you get up in the morning now? Because obviously you could sit home and retire, and guys our age, everybody says to me, how come you're not retiring? What am I going to do? You know?
Well, it makes me tick. Having a project to work towards. I like goals. I'm very goal driven. Huh? Right now I'm writing for the group Chicago with Robert Lamb, wow, with Dennis DeYoung. And then the third project is a new album I'm doing for Frontiers. Frontiers is like the label in Europe, and they're in Italy. They're in Napoli. And I've been doing albums with them, with a group that I've created called Pride of Lions, with this amazing singer named Toby Hitchcock. He's like the late Jimmy Jamison. He's that good of a singer. But now I'm doing an album called Women Who Rock the World, and it's going to be all female stars. Wow. And boy, talk about a challenge.
Hey, I've got a candidate for that who I know would be who rocks the world.
Let me know.
Susie Quattro. Do you know Susie?
Oh, she'd be awesome.
She's a great friend of mine. She lives in England, but she would kill. She still rocks.
Man, let's talk.
All right, I'll get you in touch with her because she'd be awesome. Because when it comes out about female rockers, she's one of the first ones that comes to mind because she created the mold.
She really did. I mean, she's what Joan Jett wanted to be.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And hey, Jim, you got your guitar there. Why not do us a tune? What do you think?
Oh, man. You know what? I'll tell you what. Just for you, I'm going to do it.
All right.
I always introduce it this way. Strap yourself in, everybody. It's going to be a bumpy ride, and this is the vehicle that got me there today. 1, 2, ba-da-ba-ba-da. Then everybody sing along with the
whole. Oh, yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Hey, well, I'm the friendly stranger in the black sedan. Won't you hop inside my car? I got pigs, got candy, I'm a lovable man, and I can take it to the nearest stop. I'm your vehicle, baby. I take it anywhere you want to go. I'm your vehicle, woman. By now, I'm sure you know that I love you. I need you. I won't expect to have your child. Great God in heaven, you know I love you. Oh, you know I do. Well, if you want to be a movie star, I'll take you to Hollywood. But if you want to stay just like you are, you know, I think you really should. I'm your vehicle, baby. Take it anywhere you want to go. I'm your vehicle, woman. By now, I'm sure you know that I love you. I need you. I won't expect to have your child. Great God in heaven, you know I love you. And I'm your vehicle, baby. Oh, yeah. Don't you know that I love you? I need you. I want you got to have your child. Great God in heaven, you know I love you. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Oh, man, that was awesome. I love it. It's awesome. Super cool.
Thank you. You're a good audience.
Wow. Brother, I've got to say thank you for spending some time with us in Jam and Java, man. You rock, and it's so cool to see you still rocking.
Robbie, I mean, I can't say enough about having such a knowledgeable person. Usually the interviewers are like, duh. And you're like totally with it. And it's a real pleasure to talk to you.
Well, as I said before, like you, I'm a fan. And so this to me is so cool, so much fun to do this,
Well, I thanks Scotty for hooking us up, and thanks Larry for setting this up. It's been a lot of fun, and keep rocking, dude.
You too, man. All the best, brother. And I really, 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 really thank you for doing this.
That was a lot of fun. And rock on, brother.
You too, man.
All right, that was cool. How cool was that to have him do that, do vehicle live like that? Now, the guy who is his engineer, let me get his name right here. Larry Millas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Millas. Larry Millas. And those guys, the two of those guys, Jim Peterik and Larry Millas, plus two other guys, and I don't know their names off the top of my head, although I have it over here on some stuff. Uh, both of those guys started the band Ides of March uh, back in, oh, I'm not even sure what year it was, but Jim was 14 years old. I know that. And how crazy is that? Yeah, Jim. Gary Swan is in the house, another Hammond buddy. And we also had, I saw earlier, Brian Charette, the great Hammond organ player from New York, was on here. I don't know if he still is, but boy, I know it's cold. I talked to Bones Malone earlier on the show that we do at 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock California time. We had Bones Malone. We had David Wells, the great pitcher who pitched a perfect game for the Yankees, and he pitched for the Dodgers. And we had some sports writers. We were talking about the Hall of Fame. And Marty Brenneman, Hall of Fame announcer for the Reds. And as I mentioned, Bones Malone was on. And I was talking to him. He told me they had 24 inches of snow at that time. So that's pretty crazy stuff out here. And there are times it's good to be in California, that's for sure. Yes. Who I'm here. Hello, Tammy is on there. Hello, Tammy. Gary Swan, as I mentioned. Mike Huddleston from Detroit. I bet it's cold there. Susie Quattro, yes. Susie is from Detroit. And we're going to get her to be a guest on this show one of these times. She lives, as I said, in England, so the time thing is a little crazy. We might have to do it with taping or something. But she's up for doing that anytime. Tom Peasley is your neighbor. Huh? Wow. Who else? Bert Lanson says, thanks for the ride, Jim. He's still on that ride, too. I'll tell you what. He is rocking and rolling. He has got so much energy. It was exhausting just looking at his resume. So that was such a cool thing. I have some pictures here. Let me see here. If I go over to, I have a mode here that says pictures. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm down here in the corner, and if I call up some of these pictures, let's see here. Hold on a second. I have to go to this other place here. Oh, maybe not. Maybe those pictures won't show up there. Will they show up here? No. How about showing up here? Maybe a couple. Well, here's a couple pictures. There's Jim. There's Jim and I at the NAMM show, actually. And here's some more. Here's another Ham Fam thing. This is, of course, the great Dr. Lonnie Smith. And we're going to get Dr. Lonnie is going to be a guest on here one of these days, too. And we saw Scott May there earlier. Here's Scott. He is the Papa Bear. He is the artist liaison and senior product specialist for Hammond organ. And so I've been having a lot of fun with this brand new Hammond SK Pro, which is an amazing instrument. Let's see what else we got here. I'm missing Joe Barsuli, who couldn't be here tonight. And so I'm a little slow on the draw. What did I see? Here's this. Is this what? Okay, this is an amazing picture. We did this. So we played in Chicago, and I forget the name of the theater, but Jim was on that show. That's where I really met Jim with 20-some Hammond organ artists. in that picture. You can see Scott May there, and you see Dr. Lonnie. You see Mark Stein there. Mark Stein is going to be a guest for us, too. You see Red Young back in the back here. There's Gary Swan. There's Jim Alfredson. There's John Hammond. There's Tommy Learsham. There's Jimmy Smith. There's Peter Gallinari. So cool to see all my brothers and sisters of the Hammond thing. Tony I used to go see Lonnie in Buffalo, New York back in the 60s. Dr. Lonnie Smith. Let me talk about Dr. Lonnie. Dr. Lonnie he's an icon, he's a legend. This guy, he's from Buffalo, New York. Never had private lessons or anything. He just learned to play the organ. He went into the music store, and the guy at the music store gave him a Hammond organ. So he must have talk about a gift to the world. And this guy, I don't know how many albums he's got out. He must have 50 or more albums in his own name. And he and George Benson started a group together, and this guy is a jazz legend. He's the last of that generation of the great Jimmy Smith style Hammond B3 players. And if you want to go on YouTube, and you can see a great video that Paul Schaefer put together. He put together he wanted to play with the three greatest living organ players, and he picked Dr. Lonnie Smith, Joey DeFrancesco, and another guy from Canada, and I forget that other guy's name, but Tony's saying something here. Art Kubera, is that how you pronounce it, Tony? Yeah, this guy Tony Galla would know. He's from Buffalo. Tony's been on our show, of course, many times. If you don't know Tony Galla, man, you got to get to know Tony Galla, because this guy he's one of the most amazing singers that you've ever heard. I wish I had something to play right now of Tony, but I just don't have it handy to play. So I think we're getting close to wrapping it up. Maybe this is not going to be a 3-hour show tonight for a change. I do have, let's see who else is watching over here. Sarah Nimitz. Hey, Sarah. Thanks for watching. Well, this next thing is going to be a video that Sarah Nimitz did. Now, this was for church yesterday. This is a song that I wrote with the super talented Andrea Hammond. And it's called Give It Some Thought. And here's what inspired this song. Right before he headed into Jerusalem for Holy Week, he was sitting around the campfire with I think it was a campfire. Maybe I don't want to paraphrase, but Jesus was sitting with his 12 disciples, and he asked the group, "Who do they say that I am?" And they said, "Some say you're Elijah, some say that you're a prophet, some say you're a priest, etc., etc., etc." And then he turned to Peter, the Apostle Peter, and he asked Peter, "Who do you say that I am, Peter?" And Peter, who got it wrong most of the time, it seems, this time he really got it right. Peter answered by saying, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus congratulated him. "You are blessed, Peter, by saying such a right thing." So he gets it right, bottom line. And so this is one of the big questions that we all have to ask ourselves. Who is this Jesus? I mean, I think you could pretty much make the case that historically there was a man who walked the earth in Israel 2,000 years ago named Jesus of Nazareth. But from there, how you define Jesus of Nazareth, who is this Jesus, is one of the most important decisions, one of the most important things that you can ever consider. He could really only be one of three things. He could have been a prophet and maybe nothing more. He could have been a priest. He could have been a king. He could have been a lord. He could have been lunatic, or he could have been liar, lunatic, or lord. So here's the thing. But Jesus said that he was God. He said it over and over in many places. And we could analyze that if you want to. But bottom line is Jesus portrayed himself as God. So he could have only been one of three things by saying that he was God. He was either a liar, he was lying that he was God and knew that he wasn't, or he could have been a lunatic, kind of crazy, but he must have been pretty. For the fact that he would be crazy, he did a lot of uncrazy things. Or he was indeed Lord. He was indeed the Messiah. He was indeed the Christ, the Son of the living God. So, this next song is inspired by that thought, and it's called Give It Some Thought. And I got together with my talented friend Andrea Hammond, and we did this song. And so I want you to give it some thought as you watch this song, as you listen to this song, and give it some thought. Who is this Jesus? As Jesus would say, who do they say that I am? Who do you say that I am?
Son of God, Son of Man. Who do you think I am? A liar, lunatic, or the Lord? I calm the raging sea with one command. Turn water into wine, healed the blind with my hand. I took up my cross so you understand. Now's the time to believe. Give it some thought. You have to know that you know. Give it some thought and let the Spirit show. Some say this and some say that the world will pass away. So what do you say? Give it some thought. Son of God, Son of Man. Who do you think I am? A liar, lunatic, or the Lord? I calm the raging sea with one command. Turn water into wine, healed the blind with my hand. I took up my cross so you understand. Now's the time for you to believe. Give it some thought. You have to know that you know. Give it some thought and let the Spirit show. thought. What do you say? Give it some thought. What do you say? Give it some thought.
So give it some thought. Thank you so much, Andrea, for collaborating with me on that song and singing it so beautifully. Um, and thank you, Sarah Nimitz, for putting together such a poignant video. And thank you to all you out there in the Jam and Java listening audience. Um, it's so cool that you guys give me a chance to make some music here and have an audience. You know what? And it's we're talking about doing. We're right now. Our first shows are going to be in June. Our first Frankie Valley shows in June. I know we're going to be in St. Louis in June. Hopefully, the world won't change things, and when that gets changed, of course, this is such a very fluid scenario that we're in right now. Um, and so I'm looking forward to getting back on the road. I don't know how this is all going to play the Jam and Java once the road gets going, but to be determined, I guess. So that's about all I got for tonight. Thanks again for everybody for listening, and we're gonna take it away with a song that I wrote. Actually, I wrote this song back in the '70s, and it's one of the favorite songs that I've ever done. Uh, it's called Island Winds, and it's sort of I've adapted, whatever the word is. Uh, that song for the theme song for Jam and Java. It's called Island Winds. We're going to have to do it one of these nights. Carrie Heaps from Litchfield. Hello, Carrie. We're going to have to play this play Island Winds one of these nights for uh, something like that. But so I don't know who else is going to be on next week. So check us out on Reach Out with Ray and Steve. That happens 4 o'clock California time. Check out Jam and Java next Monday with whoever we end up. I don't know what's going on. And so good night, y'all. And we're going to take it out with, as I mentioned, Island Winds. Good night.